we're back on air. This is the Incredible People Show on Coast Radio at 106.6 FM, where you work and live. And tonight we are absolutely having a ball because we've got Daniel Heppell on the show. We've heard so much already. I'll give you a recap. We've talked a bit about your hobbies. We've learned a bit about, your speedway, your ice hockey. We started to talk about mental health. And we've got loads more to talk to you about around all the juicy things that we've talked about off air. All the good conversations happen off air. So we're stopping ourselves intentionally. We want to just do a few wee shout outs before we carry on with the interview. First of all, I would like to do a big shout out to the absolutely awesome girls from Whitley Bay. So that's Daisy Miller, Flo, Helena, Violet and Autumn who are listening in tonight.
Oi,
so
oi.
It's oi. It's great to have you listening in, Daisy and the gals. And next I want to say a big hello to Maggie Martin. Maggie's listening in tonight all the way from Wales.
Wales, yes, she is.
With the gals, with the Wild Women. So a big shout out to Maggie and the Wild Women. First question, when are we going speedwaying? From Maggie, and then she said,
for me as well.
"You're sounding awesome," so she's listening in and loving it. And a big question from Maggie: who's your biggest inspiration?
Ooh,
It's a good one.
that is a cracking one, Oh, trust Maggie to put us on the spot, by the way.
She does.
She does that. She does that well.
Biggest inspiration.
You probably have several.
I was going to say that question could be vast, really.
Yes. Do you want to think about it and come back to it before we finish tonight?
Might have to on that one because
Okay.
I'm going to have to have.
What name popped in your mind?
I mean, I was thinking music.
Wanna go?
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
great.
So I was thinking because this could have many different options, you know what I mean? But on a music front, it has to be Slash
No.
and also Sinister Gates. Those two guitars pretty much shaped what
Okay.
I loved about rock and heavy metal. To be
Amazing.
fair.
Right, well, we might have to get about that one before the night's through.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
So, no. I don't know.
So Slash is the lead guitarist for Guns N' Roses, yeah?
Right, yeah. I've heard Guns N' Roses.
Sinister Gates is the lead guitarist for Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, should have that on as a tune, I reckon.
I also just want to say to you a big shout out to Rachel. Young Rachel's been listening in. She's going to be asking some questions and she's got some music requests as well. So a big shout out to you, Rachel. It's lovely that you're always listening in, and one of our biggest fans. So thank you. Also to Kate Watson. Kate's been listening and saying, what a fab guest. I really relate to Daniel. Just pop to Pure Gym to pick up my daughter and I'm back to swimming next week. And that kind of like do it now really struck a chord with her. So it's such a poignant message. So thank you so much, Kate.
You said something before, like day one or something. I like the sound of that.
So basically I was going on about how we wait too long for things to happen.
Yes.
And what resonated with me at the very start of the fitness journey and pretty much what I use now, it's either one day or day one.
Day one today.
You know?
Yeah.
If you wait and wait, you're just gonna be one day all the time. But if you do it on day one,
Yeah.
there's no excuses, is there? And that's what I honestly live so strongly by the no excuses.
That is such an amazing reframe. Though, just isn't it powerful how you can change your words, and your words can change everything.
Absolutely.
If you turn them around. I love it. What's really struck a chord for me has been about the word accountability. You said two things. One was own your decisions, like you make choices and they have consequences. Own your decisions, don't make excuses. Own that you've made that choice. And secondly, you shouted out some really great people from the gym that are obviously like you guys hold each other accountable, and keep each other going, keep each other inspired. So that's really stayed with me. And I wonder if there's other people listening that might think, actually, that could really be really helpful for me as well.
I think good support system's always something that you should have. You know what I mean? I'll always say Hayley's been my rock. You know, she's been there for me day one.
So a big, massive shout out to Hayley.
Shout out to Hayley.
Hayley's your partner, isn't she?
Yeah,
Fiance?
Yes.
Did you say? Yeah. Big shout out to you, Hayley.
She's been there day one. And look, she'll tell you absolutely I'm a pain.
Yeah.
She'll tell you I'm a pain because I am. But you know, it's one of those. We talked about mental health and different things. We've all been in dark places, and one of the things she did for me was stop me from going over the edge twice. So to be fair, there is like when I always call her my lighthouse because
Lovely.
it is one of those things where she knows this. She pulls me back from the rocks every time.
Yeah.
That's a really lovely way to describe someone that just pulls you towards like sort of safety and support and direction.
That's it.
It's beautiful. It's really lovely. Thanks for that. ADHD. So that's like a big part of you.
Massive.
Can you tell us more about when you got your diagnosis and how, to what extent it's a help and a hindrance in your life?
It's really, it's quite interesting because I think with ADHD, a lot of people just sit there. Back when I first got diagnosed, and it's like, oh, you're supposed to be a naughty child, you know what I mean? That's just the way it was. It's 10, I think I was between 8 and 10 when I got diagnosed with ADHD. You know what it is? It's one of those things. Back in the day, I took sugar. Maybe shouldn't have as a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's the way we start off.
Yeah.
And I had such an adverse effect to energy drinks, which I shouldn't have been drinking it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You kind of walk at that time though. There was no real
Looking for sugar.
Hey,
It's the thing, isn't it?
caffeine, sugar, and it was that kind of side effect. I remember once I was at Speedway, and we were doing a reaction bike test.
Yeah.
And I thought the best way to get the winning reaction is just by getting hyper.
Yeah.
So I went, if my dad's listening to this, he doesn't know this story. So
Daniel Heppell's dad. I hope you're listening to the show tonight.
So I went down to the tuck shop and bought this like little bottle of lemonade, like 30 pence, nothing major, and then I bought like 40 of these like little sherbet things, like a penny each or something. Dumped all that in there and then drank the whole thing, like downed it. And I remember for the first 10 minutes felt nothing, and then after that I was just wired.
Yeah.
Wired to the moon.
Seriously wired. I think a lot of people talk about ADHD being a hindrance, and I think it's difficult at the minute because there's such a long waiting list.
8 years? 8 years
And
for diagnosis through NHS services?
Worst thing is I'm having to be re-diagnosed with it.
Oh, okay, why is that?
I got let go at 18. They said, oh, you're getting into adulthood, you'll be fine, it'll eventually wear off, you don't have to worry about it.
It'll wear off.
Yeah, that was what I was told.
It's not like a thing like, oh, when did you catch that?
Yeah, exactly.
I think some people kind of,
like
there's a lot of myths, but you wouldn't really expect that from a health professional.
No, not at all. And I remember clear as day, they took me off the meds, took me off everything, and from that point in, it was a bit of a strange situation for me. I didn't realise how hard it was to concentrate. So the job I'm in now, when I was going through training, is when I realised I still had a major issue with it.
Okay.
Because nothing was going in, I was a bit all over, I was trying to work it out, and I was like, I can't concentrate.
Yeah.
I physically can't concentrate. I'm like, what do I do here? Funny enough, I feel like I've been benefited with the idea that I've been lucky to be diagnosed as a kid, because between the ages of around about, I think it was about 12 to 18, I had specialists talking to me and telling me things and just coaching me through different things. So I have different coping mechanisms for myself. Doesn't always work for anyone.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the lad's name is, but there's a guy who is currently pushing massively for ADHD. I think he just won the jungle.
Okay.
I'm not too sure.
My
dad knows who it is.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, he won it, and he's pushing for it. And he said something on one of the interviews, and it's very true. If you have ADHD, don't settle for something that you're not going to love. Do something you're going to love, because the hyper-focused side of you will make it the best thing ever.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's like realising, I think for anybody...
Find your passion.
But especially if there's a diagnosis, it's like, what is your superpower?
Yeah.
And how can you use your strengths? And often, I think what happens is that you can use your strengths to help you with your counterbalances.
That's it,
Yeah.
Find your passion, I reckon. And just it'll all flow afterwards, because I listen to what you say. Yeah. But the ADHD is... certainly within me, without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely,
but it's
100%,
100%, 1,000,000%. I wrote the book.
You wrote the book. You got the T-shirt.
I know my level.
You smelled the socks. Everything. Absolutely.
But it makes you who you are, though.
It makes you who you are.
We wouldn't be how we are without that part of it.
I like it.
You know what I mean?
It's a buzz.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
The most important part really is, though, to be able to appreciate where you're. To understand and learn about yourself, because I think a lot of people get a diagnosis and then it's like off you pop.
Yeah.
But the most important really part of it is, what does it mean about you? Which part of who I am is me? Which part of it might be some of the experiences and challenges, and how can I overcome them, and how can I work to my strengths?
Absolutely.
That's the piece of work that's needed, that people don't always get when they go into a service.
It's different for everybody.
And you're being on a learning journey. And it can't be the same. It can't be the same for everybody. So absolutely, thank you for that. So we're gonna take another wee break. Should we have some tunes?
Yeah.
Any more questions is 078 58 429 316. Get them whizzed in. Thanks a lot.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. So we're going to have a bit of Queen One Vision. This is a request from Kate Watson. What a tune.
It's a good track.
The two of us were like, oh yes.
Really good track.
We'll have that. And it really fits with your vision. We're going to have a bit of Foster the People and a bit of Empire Weekend. We'll see you soon.